So if you're thinking about moving to Columbus, or maybe you already live here and you're trying to figure out what is the right suburb for you, today we are in Hilliard, and it is quickly becoming one of the fastest growing suburbs in all of Columbus, and it's also one of the biggest with 36,000 people. And if you're looking for a place for good schools or a place to retire, Hilliard might be another good place. And if you stick around to the end, today we're going to be going into some of Hilliard's communities, and we're going to be looking at homes in some different price points. We're also going to check out some points of interest, and we're going to get after it right now. If you're new to this channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Columbus or Hilliard where we're at today, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel and tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about real estate market trends and new communities. My name is Oliver Chapman, and I'm with the Live Columbus group here at Keller Williams Consultants. I get phone calls, emails, and texts every single day from people just like you looking to make a move to Columbus. So check out the description box below for all my contact info, and let me help you make a smooth move to Columbus. So in today's video, we're gonna go out and see a lot that has to do about Hilliard, but in a snapshot, who's Hilliard really for? To me, Hilliard is really perfect for just family-oriented people. This is like your typical small town, but in a big city. Hilliard wasn't always this way. Hilliard actually used to be a small town way outside of Columbus. It wasn't really considered a suburb, it was just one of these towns that was out here. As time went on, about 30 years ago, Hilliard started to really grow up. And with the 270 outer belt that came in a long time ago, Hilliard started to become more of a destination for a suburb, for people looking to get out of the city but wanted really good schools. And to this day, Hilliard keeps growing. You got about 36,000 residents. I expect that to closely hit probably 50,000 in the next 10 years. But Hilliard has really great schools. They're A+ rated. That's what people come here for. The schools they're great in academics. They're really great with their sports. They have a lot of arts programs, and they're just really highly rated. So if you're looking for schools, Hilliard is definitely going to be someplace you have to do some research on, because I highly recommend them. The other thing I like about Hilliard is the community here. The community likes to come down here to areas like this on Center Street Market. And when you come here on the weekends, you'll get what I'm talking about. There's so many families out here that are congregating and getting to know one another, and kids are out playing and the adults are talking. I just really think that vibe is really important, to know who the people are in your community. And then we're gonna get into conveniences. Hilliard has so many conveniences. The shopping here is great. On Hilliard Road, you're gonna have all your box stores, you're gonna have all your grocery stores and all the conveniences that you're gonna need. But you're also conveniently located to Dublin. You're gonna borrow things from Upper Arlington, from Grandview. It's all right here within a 10-minute drive. So I think Hilliard, location-wise, is amazing. And also, let's talk about location. Hilliard is only 15 minutes from downtown Columbus. That's another reason why I think it's so convenient to live here. If you want to get downtown or even to the airport's probably only 20 to 25 minutes depending on traffic, but you're still really close. And you have all that close proximity to Dublin, to Upper Arlington. That's why I think Hilliard just makes such a great place to live, because the location's never going to change, obviously, and things are going to keep growing, but it's still, one day, it's actually, instead of being on the west side, it's going to feel like more of a centralized location. And lastly, Hilliard is a great place if you just want to live an active lifestyle. Today, we're going to go see a lot of parks. The park scene here is amazing. There's 27 different parks in Hilliard, and they have over 41 miles of biking and walking trails. So if you're somebody who likes to get outdoors, maybe it's with your dogs, maybe it's with your kids, maybe it's with your significant other, you're going to see that we have a diverse community of parks that are in this area. So you'll definitely want to do some investigation of all the different park services that Hilliard has to offer. So today, we're going to go to one of my favorite suburbs of Columbus. That's called Hilliard. Walking downtown Main Street in Old Hilliard right now, and this just to me is like screams like small town, but like Hilliard's huge. Like you get out of Hilliard, it's like, it is so expansive, but like it's just this quaint little downtown, and it has a historic feel. You've got like the old school like name on the water tower, and that's kind of like a hallmark. Like it's right over here. In our community tours today, we're going to be going out to some of like the more traditional suburbs, as that's more of, you know, like the cookie cutter houses. But like when you're downtown, you've got these really cool old Craftsman, old Cape Cod style homes. So if you like some of that older charm, then definitely get downtown. And honestly, the real estate's so cheap down here. It's like in the mid 300s. Everything we're going to go look at today is like 400 on up. Now there's smaller houses, but again, $300,000 price point is pretty hard to find. So, and being like with this proximity to this downtown and the Crooked Can and Center Street Market, that is a really good deal. Like I always say, people usually don't do enough research before they move. So I've done all the research for you. I want you to check out the description box below, because we have a link for a relocation guide to Hilliard. Our first stop today in our Hilliard neighborhood tour, we're here in Hilliard Green. And if you're looking anywhere from about $350,000 up to $450,000, this might be a really good neighborhood for you. And I personally love this neighborhood, and the reason why is I actually used to live here. So the first house I ever moved into with my now wife, Brittany, we lived right in this neighborhood, and this neighborhood is amazing amazing if you have a family. And the home that we're standing right in front of is listed at $399,000. It's 4 bedrooms, it's 2.5 baths, and it's about $6,000 in taxes. And as you can see on the street right now, as we're walking, we got sidewalks on both sides of the street. And that's what I love about this neighborhood, because everywhere you go, you're gonna have sidewalks, and it's a very pet-friendly neighborhood. I don't know if you have dogs, but if you do, I would highly consider this neighborhood, because in the back of this neighborhood, which we're gonna get to, there is a huge park, and it has a playground, it has a gazebo, and there's all kinds of fun events that go on there in the summer. So for these reasons, that's why I really love this neighborhood. I lived here for almost 6 years, and I still have some really good dear friends that still live here. I really miss this place. And if you're looking it up, it's called Hilliard Green. We're right off Roberts Road, and right behind us is gonna be Hilliard Rome Road. Hilliard Rome Road is gonna have all of your conveniences. So you've got your big box stores, you got all your restaurants, you got your groceries, and that's all within like 2 minutes from this location. So what about 400,000 affords you in Hilliard in neighborhoods like this? These neighborhoods are about 20 to 25 years old. So we're getting up on that first, second generation owner who's owned the home. There are gonna be some houses that are updated, other ones that haven't. The ones that are updated are definitely gonna demand more than 400,000. The ones that haven't been updated, you're gonna be in the high threes. And the thing I like about neighborhoods like this is these houses are so easy to remodel. We had these are all production built homes. They're very easy to get into and replace floorings, bath, and kitchen. Because of the floor plans, they're about only 1,800 to 2,000 square feet. So it's really not gonna break the bank to do those necessary improvements. The other thing I like about this neighborhood is now it's becoming more mature. Look at these trees. As you go up and down the street, there's still tree line, and now the trees are starting to grow and overhang over the streets, and it's not like that stale, sterile, like new construction style neighborhood. These actually have some really nice, features with the landscaping, and as things mature, that's why these neighborhoods become more and more desirable. Yeah, so in the back of Hilliard Green is this amazing park, and this is actually run by Columbus City. The cool thing is, I used to come here every day with my 2 dogs. As you can see behind me, there's like a huge field here. It has a walking trail that goes around the entire perimeter. If you come here in the evenings, there's kids out practicing soccer, flag football. Obviously got this play set right here. So this playground, there's so many kids out here. And if you have young kids, like it doesn't get much better than this. And right over here on the other side is the gazebo. You can come out here and grill at night with families. I see families doing it all the time. And people like to congregate in the neighborhood and come out here. So if you're social and you got young kids, this is why Hilliard Green makes an amazing first opportunity to come into Hilliard. We're here at our second stop today. And so if you're looking between 500,000 and 600,000, you're gonna get a neighborhood like this. And so Cider Run is gonna be actually in the inside of the 270 outer belt. Hilliard's big. Again, it kind of straddles 270. It goes on both the east and west side. And for this home right here that's on the market, it's 575,000. And what that's gonna get you is 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2,500 square feet, and about $7,500 in taxes. There's also an HOA in this neighborhood. It's only $75 a year. Typically, it's gonna include just common areas only. But the one thing that you're gonna notice that's different in a neighborhood like this, for only $100,000 more, look at the size of these lots. These houses are much more spread out. The last neighborhood we were in, they were much closer together. They're more of a entry-level production built homes. Here, everything's gonna feel a little bit more custom, has a little bit more architectural significance than the last homes that we were seeing. And the other thing I like about this neighborhood is it's nice and quiet. We're away from all the hustle and bustle of 270 and the shopping districts. It is very quiet here because we're down here by the river. So for 575,000, this is what you get. So if you're that person looking 500,000 to 600,000, this makes a great option, because maybe you want to be in Upper Arlington, but Upper Arlington is super expensive because that's just right next door to Hilliard. So we come across the river, you're still in a beautiful neighborhood. What people like about Arlington is all the traditional homes. But as you can see behind me, we've got 2-story colonial homes just like this. And we're also in a very mature neighborhood, but at a much cheaper price point, almost half the price it would take to get into Arlington, and you enjoy almost the same location. And when you come across the river, you're going to be on Dublin Road. Dublin Road is a corridor that comes from Hilliard all the way up to Dublin. You're going to access Hilliard, Dublin, and Upper Arlington all from Dublin Road. And it's one of my favorite drives in the city. It is super pretty. This is like a nice summer day here. So as you go up and down Dublin Road, you're going to have views of the city. You're going to have views of the river. And I just think it makes a really beautiful place to live. So that's another reason I love Hilliard. You have so many different options at your disposal. And for 500,000 to 600,000, I mean, it doesn't get much better than this anywhere in Columbus. So what is 700,000 going to get you? It's going to get you a much newer and more modern style homes. So a lot of what you saw today, some of it's traditional, some of it's smaller. These are gonna be 3,000 plus square feet. Now this home that's for sale here behind me, it's gonna be 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, over 3,000 square feet. Plus, we're out here in a nature preserve. So right around us, there's a whole nature preserve that this community surrounds. This is called Heritage Preserve. And then right in the middle of the community, there's this beautiful pond, and that's where people like to go out in the evenings and kind of walk around the pond area. And as you can see, again, much bigger lots, much more modern style homes. And we're on the far western edge of Hilliard. So Hilliard is still growing, and we're growing now out into like literally cow pastures. Hilliard started as a cow town. I mean, I say the cow town, but they had a lot of, you know, cornfields and farms in that area, and we're still expanding into the farmland area. So what I love again was about this was just you have a little bit more beautiful elements. We're kind of, again, we're more surrounded by nature in the background. There's a lot of park systems out this way. So if you're into the park scene, Hilliard's got a ton of parks that you can take advantage of. And again, really quiet out here. We're away from all of the downtown Hilliard, all the shopping districts are and the highways and everything like that. So again, for $700,000, this is a really good buy. You get some of these size homes in other areas of Columbus, they might be more like $800,000-900,000. This community here was only built about 2020 to 2021, so you're still getting relatively brand new homes. While we're out here, here's another thing I'm really digging about this neighborhood. Look how quiet it is. Walking in the middle of the street, there's no cars or anything coming by. You can see how wide, you know, just the landscape is of this neighborhood. That's what I really love about it. It just feels so spacious and so big, and you don't really have to worry much about the kids chasing the ball on the street, riding their bike, because look, I mean, this is as quiet as it gets. All right, with 27 parks to explore, this is one of my favorite. We're at Homestead Metro Park. I used to come here every morning with my mom. She's got a small dog, I got 2 small dogs, and right behind us, there's this area where it has all these wildflowers, and we would go through the trails and we would chase bunnies. There's all kinds of wildlife and butterflies, and you can go out there and do some bird watching. And the other thing I love about this park is you got these beautiful ponds, and people are actually out here fishing today, and you can actually sit on the bench, enjoy the wonderful sunshine. And right behind me is also this gazebo. The gazebo is really cool because I always see people out here renting it out for birthday parties for the young kids. Right behind there's like this huge playground, and there's also a caboose that they can run around and play on. Hilliard has a big train theme, and we'll get into that later. Again, if you're living an active lifestyle, it doesn't get better than this. There's 41 miles of biking trails in this area. So if you like to get outdoors, come check out Homestead Park. So if you're wondering what this is near, we're on the western edge of Hilliard. This is off Cosgray. Cosgray is another major thoroughfare to get you from Hilliard up to Dublin. But again, back here with this nature park, a lot of people don't even know this exists. It really surprises me. But when I come here, I just love how peaceful it is. I always see people out here doing yoga. I might get into doing more yoga myself out here because in the mornings, it is just so peaceful to be out here. So Hilliard definitely has that Main Street feel. We're in Old Hilliard right now, and this is where like a historical district, and this just opened up a few years ago. I really want to touch on this because this is something the community has really embraced, but this is called Center Street Market. And right behind me is Crooked Can, and Crooked Can is a brewery, and it's headlined by a lot of different restaurant purveyors on the inside, which we're gonna go have lunch here in a second. But during the summer months, this is where everybody comes down to on the weekends. Right behind us, they're gonna have a splash pad. On Thursday nights, they're gonna have live music. They shut down the streets. They have Dora out here, so Wednesday through Friday during Dora, you can have open container with your adult beverages and walk around and, you know, take in the vibes of all the good music and the kids playing, and they've got food trucks. The vibe is unreal here. So if you're checking out Hilliard, I would highly recommend coming down to Center Street Market. So if you're into football like me, another thing I like to do is come down here on Sundays, because Sundays gets pretty wild down here. Columbus has a lot of Browns fans, a lot of Bengals fans, and even people from Pittsburgh, which both teams like to boo. But when you come down here on a Sunday and we're at Crooked Can, they got all the games and all the TVs. You got everybody out here just taking in the football. So that's one thing on Sundays I would definitely come here and check out. Got a pizza from Meatball Mafia, and this is one of the most popular places here at Center Street Market. But this place is actually out of Youngstown, and so they opened up their second location here in Hilliard, and they've got another secret for you. I just found this out because when I was taking away the order, I said, how many locations do you have? And she's like, well, we're also up in Dublin at a place called Jimmy's, and at Jimmy's a bar, but they also have a kitchen, serves Meatball Mafia pizza, but they just don't call it there. The cool thing about this, They make their own homemade meatballs, and it's actually underneath the cheese. So what you're seeing on top here, this is like the sausage. And guys, like one thing you're gonna learn about me if you watch more videos, I'm a huge foodie. I'm always trying new foods, but I'm excited to try this today. It's been a while since I've had this, but I have had this before. It's just been a while. So it's more of like a deep dish style pizza, which I'm like really excited to get to try to see what it's all about. Actually, the crust is like super soft. That is fire. It's got these peppers you can't even see in it. There's definitely the meatball underneath it. If you're down here, give this a try. After one bite, I give it an 8.5, which is solid. One thing you need to know, Hilliard Road, that's where all the major box stores are, and that's where you're gonna go to all the chain restaurants, fast food restaurants, and it's great. It serves its purpose. You have convenience. Wanting something like more local flavor, and that's kind of like where I like to go out to dinner. My top place in Hilliard would be Habaneros. Habaneros is right off of Hilliard Road as well, but it's on the opposite side and it's down towards the downtown. If you go there at night, it is like the coolest place because they have all the Latino music going on. They've got really great street tacos. They make whole fried fish, burritos. It's the staff there that makes it really special because they are just so customer like focused and they remember you, and that's like why I loved going in there. The next place I like, Sexton's Pizza, had just opened up a few years ago, but that has quickly risen to maybe one of the top pizza places in Columbus. Next is going to be Starliner Diner. Starliner Diner is right here in Old Hilliard. They specialize in like Cuban infused diner food. So if you like diner food, if you want a little bit of a Latino flavor, Starliner is going to be your place. And they always are changing up the menu. They have great specials for lunch on the weekends. So that is definitely a top brunch spot in Columbus. The next place that's really popular is Hoagie City. Hoagie City is beloved by residents in Hilliard. They opened up a hoagie place, and these are like massive style hoagies. So like the best bang for your buck, and it's actually really good, is going to be Hoagie City. Again, we're at Center Street Market. Center Street Market is this food hall that's in here, and they have a lot of great options. So I think Hilliard's food scene is pretty strong. I didn't even get into, we have a Swenson's. I think Swenson's, they're from Akron. That is another like drive-in. That is a classic place to go get a burger just to have a drive-in. And then the last place I'm going to mention is Beer Barrel. Beer Barrel is off Roberts Road. So Beer Barrel is a classic. It's kind of like a more upscale Applebee's. You have a really cool bar in there. They've got tons of different beers, and they've got a big screen TV in there with all the other TVs. So if you're going in there and want to watch sports and just hang out at the bar, Beer Barrel is really cool. Plus, food's really good, and it's relatively inexpensive. I'm like shocked that they don't charge more for food. So check out Beer Barrel. That concludes today's video. I really enjoyed touring you guys around Hilliard today. If there's anything else you want to know about Columbus, we are the Live Columbus group, and I want you to check out our next video right here.